Yo, little bro, don't ever let me do that again. That shit was just too sexy, bro. Like how do we have some sexy ass music and then we talk ball? Like, it's just kind of crazy, bro. But
that's all you was about to start up human nature. I thought you.
Bro, I started taking my shirt off and shit. I'm like, hold on, like, what is going on? Yo, salute to the chat. As always, we appreciate you guys so much for being here on this beautiful Sunday. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. Make sure you guys like the thumbs, break them thumbs, wipe your feet, hit that subscribe button on all 3 channels. We appreciate you guys, whether you're watching on Big Mike's channel, Hammer's, mine, the Twitter feed. It does not matter. Just want to say we appreciate you guys. ShieldMore Live. We're going to go over everything fantasy football. More importantly, we're going to talk about our players, you know, in what you can be looking, because I'm one of those guys. Hammer said it on our show the other day. Like, I'm one of those guys. I just pick a bunch of Raiders, and that's probably why I lose every fucking year. But you know, it is what it is. But ShieldMore's in the building. Hammer, what's good, little bro?
What's good, man? What's good, nation? Yeah, we're here. Your tribal chief is here. Do me a favor.
Acknowledge me. You are acknowledged, kind sir. And also, we have our other brother in the building, Big Mike, burnt out Raider.
Just to let you guys know, that was the Quiet Storm. Michael Jackson. Just want to let you guys know that we'll be here for about an hour and a half, about 2 hours. Hope you guys enjoy it.
DJ Easy.
Man, shout out to the chat, man. We about to get some fantasy football in, man. Good to see you guys. Man, if you're on my channel, join the Big Mike Raider fleet, man. Go ahead and check it out, man. Become a member, man, and welcome to the fleet. Welcome aboard, man.
There you guys go. And all of us will be doing a ton of more members only shows. So if you guys want to become members, hit the links. They're pinned up top on all channels. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here at ShieldMore, man. So what are we doing today? So this is the Hammer and Big Mike show. I'm just here to kick with my bros and kind of just throw my 2 cents in here and there. But Big Mike, what do we got going on today? And then I'm going to hand it over to Hammer.
Yeah, so we were going to pretty much go over every position. We're going to go over a top 5. Hammer has a top 20. I'm going to tell you my top 5 from every position. We're not going to really go over the defense. We're not going to really go over, you know, kickers and things like that. You can pick a kicker in the 15th round, man. Don't even bother. You know, it don't matter what kind of kicker you got. In the defense, you can kind of wait with that too. But we're going to go over for each position that top 20, and then I'm going to give you guys a sleeper on every position. Just looking at the list and just kind of doing that, and then we'll get into like maybe a mock draft, a mock fantasy draft, and then we'll call it that. And then some questions. If you guys got some questions, man, we'll answer that as well. So
definitely, I'm excited about that fantasy football draft, you guys. I want your guys' opinions. Grade us. Let's see who wins this. This is going to be a competition today, you guys. And I want to do a 4-man fantasy mock draft. And what we're going to do is we'll draft for our brother Wasted. Right now, he couldn't make it today. I know that they're still out of they have no electricity out there in this area right now. So it's been really bad in New Jersey. So he's been out for the past few days. So salute to our brother. He's doing good spirits and all that good stuff. But he couldn't make it today, you guys, because the electricity is non-existent out there in New Jersey right now, where he is. At least Hammer's good to go. Hammer's good to go. They're tornado proof out there where Hammer is, man. What we got going on today, Hammer? What's rolling on your side of things?
Everything is drawn up already. You know, we had been talking over the last 24 hours. I was working last night trying to put a lot of this stuff together for you guys, but we will be answering a lot of your fantasy questions. Doesn't have to necessarily be our Raiders, but we want to help you guys get ready for the 2025 season. And this is our fantasy outlook for each and every single one of y'all. So feel free to ask your questions about any player you want, how you think these guys are going to be, and we will take it from there.
Rich, me and Stu will be live tomorrow. So we have our live show tomorrow, 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time. We'll do the Graphk and Stu show. And also he has a ton of notes on some of the rooks. So he's going to be going over some film review stuff for Darian Porter, Ashton Genty, Dante Thornton Jr. or the second, and also who else? Is it Tommy Touchdown? That's the other guy. So we'll be going over that tomorrow. So Stu will be in the building. Today he has homework, you guys. So he's at home studying these kids. He wants to make sure that he hits the nail on the head per se tomorrow with these guys in terms of film breakdown. So where you guys want to start here, man? Look, I'm just like I said, I'm here kicking it, drinking my coffee, rocking with my brothers.
Yeah. Shoot, let's start at the quarterback position, right? Let's talk about it, right? So you guys already know quarterbacks don't do the rookie mistake and pick a quarterback in the first round. Everybody, there's always that one dude that does it. You don't need to do it. And I'll be honest with you, outside of Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, maybe even Jaden Daniels, you can wait. There's
Geno Smith, baby, round 1.
There you go. Geno Smith, round 1 will get you Owen, whatever. That's pretty much what will happen. So
yes.
Lamar Jackson, I saw him kind of going into like the early 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
If you really want Lamar Jackson and you really want those numbers, those points, you can justify that. I picked Josh Allen in the 3rd last year and got me to the playoffs in one of the leagues I was in. But other than that, you can kind of wait towards like the 5th to 7th round to pick one of the quarterbacks. And really, to be honest with you, outside of the top 5, it really doesn't matter as far as numbers go. They don't fluctuate as much anyway. So, Hammer, what you got, man?
Looking at it now, like looking at this list again, I will say that within that probably the top 16, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of these quarterbacks, 10 of the 17 quarterbacks. One thing to take into consideration is their strength of schedule, and a lot of them, for the most part, are either average or very good schedules. So definitely keep an eye out on certain quarterbacks, especially if this is going to be your QB1 as your selection. Probably 3rd, maybe probably say 4th round. 3rd,
and there's a trend here, you guys, because of these, these dual quarterbacks. Josh Allen can use his legs. I mean, Lamar Jackson, we know what he can do. I think that Jaden Daniels is going to be a superstar this year. But you look, Joe Burrow, I mean, they're going to have a high-powered offense out there because they're going to stink defensively out there in Cincinnati. They're going to have to score 40, 50 points a game. So, but I'm looking at this list right here, and it's interesting because, like Kyle Murray right there, Bo Nix at 8. This is ESPN right here, Hammer, right?
No, this is Fantasy Pros. This is
Fantasy Pros.
Much for me and Mike, and we were talking about this earlier. Like, this is our go-to. Like, for me, this is my holy Bible when it comes to fantasy football.
Yeah. I'm just looking and I'm like, wow, like, so Geno's non-existent. I think he's somewhere in that 20 to 25 range.
He's ranked like 30. Hold on. Was it 27?
He's 27. I believe he's 27.
Wow.
Yeah, he's way down there.
Well, we're going to run the ball a lot this year as well. So, I mean, I'm not expecting Geno to go out there and throw for another 4,300 yards this year. But I mean,
I'm looking at the list, and he's going to crack the top 20.
Oh, agree.
Geno Smith is definitely going to crack the top 20. Maybe even to that 15 range. If I had to look at that list and look at somebody who's way too high, somebody like Bo Nix at 8 is ridiculous to me. Yeah, Brock Purdy at 11 is. Well, I wouldn't pick him as a quarterback to ever. So, so I look at that number, Dak Prescott, he might be ranked a little bit low too because he puts up big numbers. But even with him, it's like, is he healthy? You know what I mean? And this is kind of his last straw over in Dallas right now. So, is he going to put up those same numbers? It's either put up or shut up with him. So,
and you can look at 8, bro, too, and see that. Yeah. Well, not 8, 7 right there with Baker Mayfield. What is he going to look like without Liam Cohen calling the offense? We don't know what that thing looks like offensively out there in Tampa Bay. So this is an interesting list. I think a few of these guys are way overvalued. Dak definitely has that 1-2 punch now with George Pickens. I think they're going to be great. They're going to have some – they still got some injuries on the defensive side of the football. I know that Diggs is trying to come back and so on and so forth, but it's interesting to have him there. I don't know what that ground game is going to look like. They went out and got 2 veterans in free agency.
Yeah.
They're probably going to have to throw the football a ton. Maybe that's why they have him there in the top 15. Jared Goff. I mean, what's that offense going to look like without Ben Johnson? I mean, we don't know. I mean, they still have all the weapons there, but what does that thing look like without Ben Johnson?
It looks like Duval.
I'm just saying. So, I mean, but let me ask you guys this. Who is your quarterback on this board, and when are you taking him?
Oh, man. Me personally, I like a quarterback. If I had to go on that upper echelon of quarterbacks, and we're talking about them first 3, I'm picking Lamar Jackson in the 3rd round, Josh Allen in the 3rd round. Outside of that, you can get the sure shot and Patrick Mahomes. And believe it or not, Baker Mayfield puts up big numbers too. He was my quarterback too last year behind Josh Allen, but he could have easily been a quarterback one. I held on to him for strategy purposes. I didn't want anybody else to come up. So, you can get a Baker Mayfield in the 7th round. People are going to be sleeping on him.
They got a ton of receivers out there, Mike. They got a ton of receivers.
They draft. What did they draft? Like 2 more receivers?
With already the guys they had in the building. Like them in Carolina went out and just got every receiver known to man.
Yep. Right. And that's going to be like I talked about that division for a while. Like the NFC South has been one of those divisions that it's like it's up for grabs for the most part, but then not so much. And I've said this with this year, I'm looking at Atlanta as a heavy favorite, but Tampa Bay could be very sneaky. But Carolina,
and Bryce is not even on here, little bro. Like he's not even he didn't crack the top 20.
Whether it be draft or even free agency, like they have really rebuilt that roster tremendously throughout this offseason.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, Big Mike, you're taking one potentially 4th, 5th round. You said Josh Allen somewhere.
Yeah, then in the 3rd round, if you're going to get Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson, it's in the 3rd round. Now, another quarterback that's not on that list that's really intriguing to me, and I can't let it go, man. Michael Penix Jr. Yeah, especially with Atlanta, they got their running game going. They might be trying to turn a new leaf on with that offense. I think that they have one of the most complete offenses in the league. Them in Tampa Bay are going to be shooting it out this year.
Yes,
that's going to be an interesting division this year. So look
out
for Michael Penix. Look out for Michael Penix. I mean,
and they also have a young running back that's very active in the passing game as well. That's going to help make Michael Penix Jr. look that much better. So. I agree with you. I always take Lamar Jackson every year, you guys, and I kind of get him in that 3rd round range. He's worked wonders for me every single year. That's the guy that I'm always trying to pinpoint because of just the massive stats he puts up in the ground game. And then they got a great offense out there as well. A ton of firepower out there at the receiver position, running back Derrick Henry. So if you had to pick, Hammer, your guy, what round and where are you looking at?
We've talked about that sophomore slump when it came to certain quarterbacks over these last few years, including a guy right now that's sitting at 18 and CJ Stroud.
Yeah.
I am not looking at this kid having that type of issue. I'd probably go with Jaden Daniels and probably take him mid-3rd, most likely.
Okay. I agree. And look, they got a high-powered offense out there with Kingsbury. They're only going to get better with Debo out there. It looks like he's in really good shape right now. And I'm hearing really good things that the chemistry is already being built with Jaden and Debo. So they're going to have some firepower out there, a ton to build on from that big year that they had last year.
I got one that's that comes up right now. It's almost like the great value version of Lamar Jackson, and that's Kyler Murray. Nothing to frown upon what he does. He puts up similar numbers. He can run the ball, but he's got a lot of like low-key good weapons out there. You got McBride. Who's a top 3 tight end in fantasy right now. I think he's 2nd. He's number 2 in fantasy. And then you got Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah, who's going to be a monster this year.
He's going to be a monster this year. He came in yoked up. Yeah, I don't know if you saw. He came in yoked up, and plus they got some other pieces over there too, some young pieces. So kind of see a revival from Kyler Murray right there.
The one player that's very interesting that I'm looking at, and if I waited longer to take a quarterback, the 3rd, 4th round, I just say, let me skip that. The guy I'm looking at is right there at 10 is Justin Fields. A ton of value because, he's damn near leads his team in rushing yards every single year. So he's that dual threat guy. He has his former, teammate from Ohio State out there, Garrett Wilson. They're going to try and build that rapport up pretty quick. They got a nice young offense out there. Justin Fields is an interesting name to keep an eye on. I know he's kind of had an up and down career up to this point. Chicago, they didn't really have a ton around him. He goes out to Pittsburgh last year. I think he goes like 5-2 or 4-2, and then he gets benched. Mind you, they weren't putting up a ton of touchdowns. There were a lot of field goals were being kicked, but they were winning ball games. And he was benched for Russell Wilson. But that's a guy that I'm very interested in potentially taking later on down the line if he's available, like the 5th, 6th round. I would take a look at Justin Fields if he was available.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good quarterback too to kind of stash. And you won't really drop off from production if you lose your quarterback.
Exactly.
That's a good one. That's another good one.
Salute the God Family Raiders for life on the $5 special. Why do you guys do my man Wasted Funko Pop like that? Looking like our grandpa, unceremoniously blocked. I got your back, Wasted, in your absence. Salute to my guy, God Family and Raiders, man. Appreciate you, my brother. So where we going from here, man? We got these are the top 20 according to what is it? Fantasy Football,
Fantasy Pros.
Fantasy Pros. Okay, Fantasy Pros. So this is your list, and once again, like Big Mike said, don't take a quarterback early. I see a ton of people always doing the Patrick Mahomes in round one, and they usually end up not making it to the damn playoffs. You know what I mean? It's like unless you just – I've taken Lamar early. I'm going to be honest, and it worked out for me. I was in a championship last year. I lost in the bowl.
See, you can get away with that just because he runs the ball and throws it.
Yes.
You know, he does a little bit of everything. So you can kind of get away with that. Just don't do a one-dimensional type of quarterback that's not going to give you running yards and passing yards.
Yeah.
That's what you want to avoid.
You always want to take a skilled player there early. And with Lamar Jackson, he's kind of the best of both worlds. A guy that can lead your team in rushing yards, but not now with Derrick Henry in the fold. But, you know, and a guy that throws a ton. So that is the guy that I'm taking a look at. If he's available there early, potentially, like Big Mike said, he's the pro with this third round, that Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. I think you got to go running back, wide receiver. Do you have another list here with those guys? Hammer, top 20.
Let's go next. Here we go.
Let's get it.
Next, y'all. Here it is. And top of the list right now. We're talking about Atlanta. We're talking about this offensive weapons they have. Bijan Robinson sits there at number one.
Mm-hmm.
Again, for me, you want to have a guy that you know is going to get a lot of touches, because the touches plays a huge role in fantasy football, and the running back position is the cream of the cream when it comes to getting a positional player that's going to get the most touches on offense. So Bijan Robinson, Jahmyr Gibbs, part of that dynamic duo in Detroit with Sonic and Knuckles.
Yep.
The reigning
clear.
Saquon, there's not much to be said about him. I really wish I would have gotten the pick of him doing the hurdle jump. But number 4, a rookie, our rookie, the 6th overall pick of the 2025 NFL draft.
Yes.
Ashton motherfucking Genty.
Genty!
I'm telling you right now, and I'm going to say it a little early, this right here is a pick your poison. I've talked about Genty over and over and over again for months now. I do believe that this guy is going to be he's going to lead rookies in all-purpose yards for the season. You're looking at a front runner for potentially the offensive rookie of the year. You know it's a quarterback-driven league. People are going to try to give it to Cam Ward. But I really do believe Genty could be that guy. And again, first round, I've already done a couple of mock drafts. This is truly going to be a pick your poison when it comes to if you're drafting Raider players. We're going to go further down later in this live. And when we talk about the tight end, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But you have Devon Achane, another very high-powered offense.
Mm-hmm.
Miami struggled through and through last year, battling injuries, Tyreek Hill and his nonsense. But they have a lot of formidable weapons. Achane has been a guy the last 2 years that his numbers, when healthy, he has been very productive.
You know what's funny, Hammer? And I'm seeing something weird here. And my bad, I don't want to cut you off, but I would swap Christian McCaffrey because of the injuries. I don't know how much he's going to play this season. Yes, he's a phenomenal dual threat running back. I'd put Bucky Irving there at 6, or even Bucky where Achane is because of the injury history with him. And we don't know what Miami's going to look like offensively this year. They a lot of moving and shaking out there. They just picked up D-Wall. You know, I don't know what it's going to look like out there, but I would put Bucky there potentially in the top 5, or I would move Achane to 6, put Bucky at 5, and put McCaffrey down there a little bit lower in the rankings, because once again, we don't know how much does he have left in the tank. You know, the injuries he sustained they're lingering, and he's getting up there in age. Remember what they did in Carolina? They just ran the entire offense through him forever, and it just caught up to him when he finally got to the San Francisco 49ers, where they started really playing for Super Bowls. But I mean, it's good to see Genty there. You hit the nail on the head right there. He's going to be probably the most productive rookie, not named Cam Ward, but also a guy that, when you take a look at not last year, but the year prior, was very active in the passing game out there in Boise State. I believe he had like 600 yards in the passing game a year ago or 2 years ago in Boise State. And Pete Carroll has said, you guys, that they have been working him in as a third down back as well. They want him to not leave the football field if they don't need him to. They want him to be just a 3-down back. They don't want him to have to get out the football field if they don't need him to. Raheem Mostert is going to be a guy out there that's going to get some reps as well, but he is 33 years old. So we don't know what Mostert has left in the tank. That was a nasty injury that he sustained last year in Miami. So expect Genty to get a ton of reps and also expect him to get a lot very active in the passing game as well. I don't want to, show my Raider bias here, Big Mike, but hey, I'm putting Genty higher than that. I think that Bijan and Jameer are 1A, 1B. But
you got to keep it on the low, right? Because look, you're going to be in a league with a bunch of people that just sleep on the Raiders. Yes. Outside of Raider fans, you're going to be in a league with people who sleep on the Raiders. So keep it a secret. You might be able to get Ashton Genty in the top of the second round. He's ranked number 13 overall. And I know what you're saying. But this is what people are saying. This is the truth of the matter. Oh, we don't have an offensive line. What's going to happen with Genty? Who's going to be blocking for him? This and that. Yeah. Who's the quarterback? This and that. They're going to make all the excuses for Genty to not succeed, and people are going to pass up on him because of that. I've seen it too many times with the Raiders that they pass up on star Raider players because, and I've seen stocks drop. We saw it with Devontae Adams and his stock drop. Right? Yeah. We saw it with Darren Waller, his stock drop. I'm just saying that you can get in the first round, get your wide receiver, get your Jamar Chase, top of the second round. If you can, if they're sleepers, people are going to be sleeping on Genty, get him in the top of the second. It's going to be a snake, so you're going to have to worry about, wait your turn a little bit. But Bucky Irving should be available in that third round. So you got a two-headed monster with Bucky Irving and Ashton Genty, young running backs that you don't really have to worry about durability. I'm not saying there's a lot of bad drafters in the league, Hammer. I know you've been in leagues, right? There's a lot of bad drafters, and those two can be available in that second and third round. You got yourself a two-headed monster. You don't have to worry about injuries.
So as it goes for Genty right now, in terms of the projections for this coming season for him, in terms of fantasy production as well, the projections are 258 fantasy points, 257 carries for 1,112 yards and 9 touchdowns. And again, we do with Fantasy Pros, and Mike knows this, they do this on a bunch of different analytics, including strength of schedule. And the strength of schedule for us right now, it's 2 stars, which is bad. So it is something to think about. It is a bit of a buyer beware. But again, with the mock drafts that I've done recently, he is gone in the first round.
Hey, real quick, Hammer Ty. It was a fractured foot, I believe, in like 2021.
Yes.
Derrick Henry. So he's been fairly healthy
since
playing
with that plate in his in his cleat.
Hey, there's another name right here, you guys, that I know a ton of people may not be that in the know about, and this is another guy that you can get. It's sneaky, probably maybe in that third, fourth round. If you pass up on a running back early, keep an eye on Chase Brown. Chase Brown, Cincinnati Bengals. He is going to be a guy that's going to be the number one option out there in the ground game for Joe Burrow and company. Keep an eye on him, and they like to utilize him in the passing game as well. Yep. That is a sneaky guy. I'm actually, shocked that he's there at 9 because I thought they were going to downplay him a little bit more. So it looks like they know their shit. But for him to be there in front of Josh Jacobs and Jonathan Taylor and Kyron, that speaks volumes. That is a guy right there. If you can get there in that potential third or fourth, maybe even a little later, if you can get him fifth round, I mean, Chase will be a sneaky.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. But I'll tell you what, you just mentioned him, Kyron Williams.
Yes,
that's another guy that people are sleeping on too. For him to be ranked 12 is kind of ridiculous to me. I mean, I think he's in that top 10 easily. Yeah. It's an easily top 10, and it's pretty much jam packed. You really can't go wrong. Breece Hall scares me a little bit just because of durability. And past that Breece Hall threshold, everybody else is like you can kind of wait to get. Omarion Hampton is a pretty interesting one too at number 20.
I was going to bring that up too.
I hate to say it, but hey, Jim Harbaugh, he likes to run that ball, and he's got himself a workhorse back over there. So he might be a good steal too in the later rounds. Yeah,
and we don't know what they're going to do with Najee. They signed him to a 1-year deal. I don't think that they thought that Hampton would be available where they got him. and they got a nice little 1-2 punch out there. But I think that in year one, Amarion Hampton is going to end up being the number one guy. He'll be the number one option. I even seen some rumors in which it could be capped that it's the weird time of the NFL right now, right? It's the off season, so people just create rumors. But they're saying that Najee could potentially be a trade candidate already before even week one. So that's a guy to keep an eye on because they may run the offense through Amarion Hampton. We don't know. And Najee's been over 1,000 yards 4 seasons straight. He's never missed a football game, but Amarion is that guy. We talked about him a ton.
Yeah.
We kind of stopped now because he's a Charger, but during the draft process, we talked about Hampton a ton. That was like my 1B, 1A with him and Genty. So
you're gonna see Amarion in his rookie campaign with a lot of doom 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 touch.
Connor's an interesting name as well because he scores a ton of touchdowns. I think a couple years prior, didn't he have like 17, 18 on the ground or something like that?
Yeah, and it's this offense. I don't know what it is this year with Arizona and what these experts are expecting out of Arizona, but the rankings for a lot of these positional players in fantasy football for Arizona are very, very high. Like Mike mentioned Trey McBride before. You see where Kyler Murray is. It's just like, damn, what the like.
Well, McBride is nasty. McBride is I mean, he was literally right below Brock statistically last year. McBride had a phenomenal year because remember, Marvin only had 800 yards receiving. He didn't have a massive rookie year. He's gonna have a great sophomore year, but McBride was like the guy in that offense, in the passing game. So I mean, look, I expect him, but I don't know, man. Arizona's a weird team.
I got one for you to kind of monitor, right? Outside of that top 20 list. And it's a little bit of a sleeper, but it's also a handcuff, right? You got that two-headed monster with Caleb Johnson and Jaylen Warren. Keep an eye on who's going to emerge from that, right? You got the rookie and you got the guy who's kind of on the cusp of being in his prime, but you don't really know if he's that dude yet with Jaylen Warren. Who's going to be the number one there? Pittsburgh, they get down and dirty when it's time to run the ball. So one of those two. Keep an eye on those two.
And Warren is phenomenal in the passing game as well. That is another sleeper right there. Salute to Big Mike on that. Definitely keep an eye on that running back duo in Pittsburgh. I mean, is there anything else? I mean, I think Josh has to be there in top 10. They're going to run the football out there in Green Bay. He had a monster year last year out there for him. They got to the playoffs. I think that Josh definitely deserves to be there in that top 10. But once again, I think last year was the first year that he actually had his first receiving touchdown in his career. So I think that Josh is kind of where he needs to be, right? Like that 10 mark, because all those guys in front of him are all very much active in the passing game. Chase Brown, Bucky. I mean, Derrick Henry is just Derrick Henry. He deserves to be there. Right. Christian McCaffrey, dual threat guy, a chain dual threat, Genty, Barkley. I think that Josh is the interesting guy there at 10. If Green Bay can get him a lot more involved in the passing game, and I don't know what he did statistically in the passing game last season, you guys, but I'll say this. He could be another sneaky top 7 option if they start getting him, involved in the passing game.
Yeah, I'm gonna knock on wood before I say what I say, man. Go ahead, bro.
I'm gonna see if I can find those numbers because it's so weird for the former Raider to now all of a sudden be a hell of a lot more heavily involved as a pass catcher out of the backfield than he ever was as a Raider. And right now, as it stands, he's another one where the numbers is just the strength of schedule is average. He's projected to have over 1,200 yards and 12 touchdowns this season. Definitely a guy that I definitely would add to my team if he was there for me. A guy that I'd probably take. He's probably one that I would take if I had an early 3rd round pick. I would go back in the 1st, receiver in the 2nd, and go back to the running back in the 3rd. If he's there for me, I'd absolutely take Josh Jacobs.
There's a wild card right there too, Hammer, that you're not mentioning is James Cook. I know the whole situation in Buffalo with the contract and him potentially sitting out and all that, but that is another guy that is phenomenal in the passing game and ran the football effectively. That is a guy that I can't. Maybe he's at 16 because of the contract dispute.
Oh yeah.
I don't know, but that's interesting to see. But go ahead, Big Mike. Knock on wood for what?
Yeah, so I was gonna knock on wood, right? Because this happened with me last year. I had Alvin Kamara. I got him late, and I was rolling. it was locked to win the championship, and then Kamara went down, and I got him in the later rounds. So you might be able to get lucky and get Alvin Kamara in the 8th to 10th round as that flex, as that kind of sit on the bench and then kind of see what he does. And then if he puts up those similar numbers from last year, you can put him in that flex position, and then you already got your 2 running backs there holding you down already. So now you got like a 3-headed monster. So kind of keep an eye on Alvin Kamara because he's old reliable. He's old reliable.
They're going to run the offense through him. They're going to run the offense through him, Big Mike, because essentially they have a rookie in Shuck that may start, or they have a sophomore guy with Rattler or Hayner, or whoever the hell it is that's going to be the quarterback one. That offense is going to go through the OG. So that is a sneaky option there as well with Alvin Kamara. This is facts. Salute to God and family real quick on the 5-hour special as well. It's Saquon or Genty in round 1 for me in fantasy. You are acknowledged chief. Raiders. Salute to my God family, and Raiders for life, my dog. But and we'll go over, we're going to do a fantasy draft here in a second, you guys, so you'll kind of get an idea of where we're going. But I think if you're lucky to leave with one of those top 5 guys early, you may be on to something. Because once again, if a Chain can stay healthy, I'm gonna be honest, that's the dark horse. He could be the number 1 guy to me. A Chain is that good. He's that good. But Hammer, what you got for us, brother?
Moving on to the wide receiver position, and here we go with your top 20. Jamar Chase leads it off, and doing this list really opened my eyes twice. You look at 2 guys that just got their contracts in Cincy that are in the top 20. You also have 2 other receivers, respectively, in the NFC West, and Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, both of the Los Angeles Rams, that are in this top 20. It's like the ball could only be thrown around and shared so much, and it's like you have both of these teams with their number 1 and number 2 receivers in the top 20.
Yeah.
Where are we going? What would you do here in this situation? Are you going to be able to get one of these guys? Who's to say you couldn't get both of them? That would be some wild shit if you had both receivers together. Like, I remember a while back, it was a couple of years ago, where I had Chase and ended up getting T. Higgins like very, very late, or like a mid to late round pick, and was like, how the fuck was I able to pull this off? But seeing these 2 teams with those 2 receivers respectively, like it's insane. I love CeeDee Lamb there at number 2. Now, I've been saying this for years. CeeDee Lamb is a guy that should have been our number 1 receiver in that draft. Like, that was a guy that I know I was wanting. We went another route. We know how that played out for us. Justin Jefferson is him. He's always going to be Justin Jefferson.
Yes.
The production up there in Minnesota. But now with J.J. McCarthy, how is that going to play out for him? Coming off the ACL, the knee injury, the knee surgery, what is J.J. McCarthy going to look like in his first full season as a starting quarterback from Minnesota? Again, Puka Nacua, another guy, solid numbers with Matthew Stafford, a quarterback that I have respected throughout his entire career. He has just been incredibly consistent. Malik Neighbors, you got Russell Wilson for how many weeks? When's Jackson Dart's number going to be called to be the starter? Amon-Ra St. Brown, another guy that is just a dog.
Nico is he's the guy for me this year.
Yeah.
Nico Collins is the guy for me this year. Him and back-to-back with Brian Thomas Jr. had a phenomenal rookie season. And then 13 is my wild card with Garrett Wilson, because once again, he reunites with this college quarterback. But Nico Collins, man, he was 6'4", 6'5", big body, wide receiver down there in Houston. CJ Stroud kind of had a down season last year. I'm looking for him to have a big season and get it back together in year 3. This is a year, you guys. I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking I may go back-to-back running backs in the first 2 rounds.
You can get some good value on the back end with all these wide receivers. And I'll tell you, even in a PPR league, a guy, I hate to say it, a guy like Rashee Rice, Patrick Mahomes doesn't throw the ball past 3 yards. You know, he's gonna get 10 catches at the line of scrimmage. We saw that a bunch of times where he's getting them screen passes,
and he's on.
That's what he likes to do. So you get him, you can get him like it looks like maybe 5th round, 4th, 5th round, something like that. And nothing is worse, bro, than getting then you're up 60 points and you have a team that has like a 1-team stack with two receivers similar to Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams, you're up 60, and then at the end of the day, you're down 15, and you're wondering what happened. So if that's your strategy, you can get a wide receiver 3 in Devontae Adams. I feel like people are going to sleep on him this year because of of what happened last year. Yeah. And then Puka Nacua, you get him in the second round too. So, you can go that route.
There's a ton of value, and salute to God and family. I appreciate you, my brother. There's a ton of value there at the bottom. And DJ Moore is going to be the number one option in Chicago, which is crazy that he's there at 20 with Caleb. He's going to be better in year 2. Ben Johnson calling the O. I know they got Roma Dunze. They went and drafted, I think they took the kid out of Missouri, right, this year? Luther Burden. They took Luther Burden as well, right? But there's a name that's not on this list to me, and it's kind of interesting because DK Metcalf. Like you got Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be the number one option out there in Pittsburgh. I know that he didn't have a ton of production last year in Seattle. They kind of struggled offensively because they had a bad O-line and the ground game couldn't get rolling. But that is another name to keep an eye on. I don't know where he's ranked here.
He's 23rd, and the strength of schedule for him too. It's a very good schedule. It's got 4 stars. I want to look at this because I did see something.
If you don't mind me asking, Hammer, real quick, where's Jacoby? Just want to see.
Jacoby's 39.
39,
right?
Yeah, 39. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
But as it pertains to Metcalf, and this was said by one of the writers from Fantasy Pros, Pat Fitzmaurice, look, averaging 73 receptions, 1,054 yards, and 8 touchdowns per year over 6 seasons with Seattle. He's in Pittsburgh now. Where is the chemistry between him and Aaron Rodgers? Are they going to mesh? It seems reasonable to expect mid-range to low-end wide receiver 2 numbers for Metcalf. That's something to take into consideration going into this season, and that's pretty much why he sits there ranked 23rd overall for wide receivers right now.
But who's their wide receiver 1? 2 at this point behind DK Metcalf.
I mean, a low-end wide receiver 2 for your.
Oh, okay, got you. I just think that he's going to get a ton of looks once again. They moved on from Pickens, and they really haven't, replaced him at this point. They went and got another tight end in Jonnu Smith. They can use another receiver. I'd be interested to see if they potentially bring in an Amari Cooper. I think they did bring in Gabe Davis. I could be wrong. I seen something where he came in for a
wide receiver 3, man.
You know what I mean? But Metcalf, to me, man, you got a guy like Aaron Rodgers out there that this is his last year of his career. He wants to show that he can still fling that thing, pause if necessary. So that's the guy that I would take a look at there in the mid rounds potentially if you miss out early on some of these top names.
So with Metcalf right now, as it stands, like the season outlook for him is 222 fantasy points, 73 receptions, 1,109 receiving yards, and 7 touchdowns on the year. Now, you also asked about Jacoby Myers a minute ago. And let me see if I can pull this up.
I got it for you, bro. I got it.
Actually, I want to ask you, Graphk, because remember we did a prediction show a while back in terms of numbers for the year, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember what you said in terms of Jacoby Myers' numbers this coming season?
I think I pretty much stated that he was going to kind of go back to what he usually does, that 700-800 range. Maybe he can reach that 900. I just think that Chip Kelly's going to want to get everybody involved in the O. I think Dante's going to play a big role. I think Trey Tucker is going to be – he's in for a big year this year. Then you got Brock. He's going to be all over the place. Michael Mayer, they have big plans for him. So I just think that his production is going to dip a little bit, just like Brock's. I think Brock's is going to dip a little bit as well. I just think the touchdowns are going to go up. But I think the receiving yards is going to drop a little bit, but I think Jacoby will dip kind of back down to that 700-800 range this season, maybe 900 tops.
So as it goes with Jacoby right now and the projection they have for him this season. Now, last year he had season highs in receptions with 87 receiving yards. He had a little over 1,027. The projection for him this season, 78 receptions for 903 yards and 5 touchdowns.
Okay. I could see that. I'd probably give him 7 to 8 touchdowns, but I could see that. I could see
he's
that.
a touchdown machine in the red zone. We were looking for him a lot. And this you said this the other day on X, bro. You said that people are sleeping on Chip Kelly in that offense.
Yes.
I can see him being a bigger playmaker. Now, keeping those two things in mind, the projection and the fact that Chip Kelly he dialed some things up that we haven't seen yet, right?
Yeah.
I would stash a Jacoby Myers on your bench. You can get him as your fourth wide receiver. Just keep him there just in case one of your guys goes down. Put him in as a flex, or during a bye week you can throw him in for a week, and you're not really dropping off in production.
Yeah. Now I know with this list you guys see 20, and obviously the three of us we cover the Raiders. We do have a couple of sneaky ones, and one right now that a lot of people are talking about.
I know where you're going.
Sleeper. And this is one of Graph's guys right here.
Lad, high stakes McConkey, baby.
No.
Who you going? Who?
That's not my check. Lad is not a Raider.
Who? A Raider.
We are talking about
Dante.
a Raider here, and we are talking about a rookie Raider.
Okay.
We're talking about Dante Thornton.
Let's go.
The things that I've been reading on him, and you've heard what he's been doing in minicamp, or what he did do in minicamp. This is a guy that is very, very sneaky, especially with that body size. Like we've talked about it. This is your early mid-90s, early 2000s prototypical quarterback of the likes of T.O., Megatron, that type of receiver. Now, as it pertains to his numbers, shout out to RAS. For those that don't know, it's relative athletic score. He put up some crazy ass numbers.
Yes.
Scored a 9.85 out of a possible 10. That ranked 59th out of 3,816 receivers from 1987 to 2025. Yeah. You're looking at a guy with the stature that he has. He's a guy that can definitely open it up on deep routes, especially with a quarterback like Geno Smith and the numbers that he has put up throwing for 20 plus yards over the last 3 seasons. This could be a guy that could be a weekly spike for you in fantasy football. Dante Thornton is a guy that you probably are going to want to take late, but he is definitely he could be a very, very sneaky draft pick for you in this coming season for our fantasy football owners.
Just like Big Mike said, to stash Jacoby, I'm stashing Dante. That's a guy that I'll take late, put him away in case, let's say I get Jamar Chase or I get Lamb and one of them go down, or the offense just isn't gelling. Dante to me is a sneaky still late in the game. And Chip Kelly had so much praise for him. That's a guy that I think that's going to be heavily, heavily involved this year, even in his rookie season. We'll kind of pump the brakes a little bit, though, because we know training camp's right around the corner. They report the 17th. When the pads get on, we'll start hearing a little bit more. When you get contact is different, you guys. Yeah. So we'll see. But once again, 6'5", 6'6", 4'3". I mean, 4'3", 40. It's insanity. This is a guy that could potentially break out in year one. That is definitely a late gym stash. Put him away.
I want to put this out there because, as long as I've been doing this, I like to talk numbers. But I just want you guys to hear the type of numbers and production that Geno Smith has had on deep passes for 20-plus air yards in the last 3 seasons. 2022 attempts, he ranked 10th with 68. Completions, 32, which was second. He threw for 920 yards, 15 touchdowns. Yeah. That was 2022. 2023, the attempts, he ranked 13th with 60. Completions, 26, which was tied 11th. Completion percentage, 43.3, which was tied 13th for 811 yards and 5 touchdowns. Last season, we know it wasn't the best year for him under McDonald as the head coach. Attempts, 65, which was tied 9th. Completions, 30, which was tied 5th. Percentage, 46.2, which was ranked 3rd. 879 yards and 9 touchdowns. This dude knows how to blow the top off on those vertical threat receivers. Again, he had DK Metcalf.
Yeah.
Thornton could be that next guy for him in the long run.
There you go. Tyler Lockett as well, another guy that he found a lot out there in Seattle, and I'm hoping that Trey Tucker can have, a big year. What were you about to say, Big Mike?
You can't forget. So this is I love Dante Thornton, but too many people are talking about him, right? ESPN made a whole thing about him, and people are starting to talk about him. I don't like it. I don't like it because I like things to be kept secret.
Talk that shit, Mike.
So the people who aren't, the experts that they're not saying anything about our guy Jack Besh. Nobody's talking about him. People forgot that he was a second-round pick. So, also keep in mind that he's out there. He's in that top 100 as far as receivers go. I think he's maybe just outside or whatever. But his projections are 55 catches for 710 yards and 3 touchdowns. So that's somebody you can kind of keep on the waiver wire watch list, or you can take a flyer and get him in that late 15th round or 14th round if you want.
And that's, I think, kind of where we had him, Hammer, with production. I think we had that 700, that 3 to 5 touchdown range. So that would be a great call on that one, Big Mike. Besh is another guy that we're going to hear. But look, the thing is this. You always get lost because Dante looks like Megatron. You know what I'm saying? So Besh was out there. They had him playing on the out. Dante was on this platform. He said it twice about Besh. He looked phenomenal out there, and they were putting him everywhere. He was in the slot. He was on the boundary, and he looked good. Like every little, battle they gave him, he went out there and scored high. You know what I mean? So that's another name to keep an eye on. And once again, I know a lot of people are worried about him because he's not signed right now. That should be done pretty soon. Once again, you guys, a ton of second-round guys are not signed right now because Cleveland and Houston chose to kind of throw a monkey wrench into the game. So keep an eye on Besh. That's a great one. And once again, he'll be there at training camp. They'll get it done soon. But yes, Besh is another interesting name to keep an eye on. Is there any other sleepers here? I think that Tyreek is going to have a down year. I could be wrong, but what are they looking like with Tua out there? Is he going to be healthy? Is Quinn Ewers' season is it going to happen this year? His rookie season? We don't know, to be determined. But another guy, and I know you guys don't want to talk about Chargers, and I don't either, but Lab McConkey is an interesting name to keep an eye on because what they chose to do was, they kept Q around, right? Q still with the Chargers. Lab was the number one option in the passing game last year. They brought back who they bring back? They brought back former Clemson kid, played for Pittsburgh last year in the Jets. Is it? I'm drawing a blank right now.
Not Mike Williams, was it?
Yeah, Mike Williams. There you go. Mike Williams. They brought him back into the fold. They can still use another receiver, but for the time being, Lab McConkey, I like that pick right there at 11. If you can get him in those mid rounds, if he's available, that's an interesting. He had over 1,000 yards, I believe, receiving last season, and that dude is like a Hunter Renfrow, but on steroids. Yeah. So I'm telling you now, Lab McConkey is one of them ones. So that's another name to keep an eye on. And then Drake London, like you said, Mike, right? That Atlanta offense is interesting. Like, is Kyle Pitts ever going to turn that corner? We don't know, but they do have a guy in Drake London, a former USC product, big body guy that can get it done. And he had a massive year last year. Massive year. So, going to be interesting.
Was a guy, Pitts has been a guy over the last few months that has been brought up in trade talks for Atlanta. So I'm very, very curious. And as we get to the tight ends coming up next, you're going to see where Kyle Pitts is ranked, and you're going to be like, shit, this might not be so great.
And real quick, Gotham, I like that you mentioned him. The thing is, what is the quarterback situation in Indianapolis? Is it going to be Daniel Jones, which it sounds like it will be?
Probably going to be Daniel Jones.
And we've seen what he looked like in New York.
Right now to be the starting quarterback for the Colts right now.
Yeah, so I love Josh Downs. I watched him very closely in college, North Carolina product. That kid is a stud. But once again, I just don't know. Go ahead.
Yeah, kind of on the same subject of rookies, right? You can't forget about Ted McMillan out of Carolina. That's a guy that you want to look at. And then Mika Ibuka from Tampa Bay. He might emerge as that third receiver there.
Yep.
And, if Godwin doesn't – he can't seem to stay healthy, he might emerge as a number 2 look. So that's somebody to look at and kind of stash as well. He's wide receiver number 54 overall. So you can get him late.
Here, you see, I didn't want to mention him, right? Because that was my favorite wide receiver in this class. So I totally didn't want to talk about Trey Harris going to the Chargers. But once again, yes.
I couldn't do it either, man. Yeah.
I know it hurts. It hurts. But Ole Miss, big body, wide receiver. He can definitely be their number one. Well, I'll say 1B option to Lab McConkey. It's going to be interesting to see what he looks like in his rookie season. But I didn't want to talk about that, man, because Trey was my guy. So let's get to the tight ends. Pause if necessary.
Hey, yo.
Real quick, while you do that, salute to the chat. Once again, you guys wipe them feet, man, break them thumbs, like the thumb, all that good stuff. And make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Once again, you guys, we want to do some fantasy football stuff. So we're talking everything NFL. It all comes back to Raider Nation. So I understand this isn't your typical Raiders show, but we'll have a lot more of that throughout the week. But we want to start doing a lot more fantasy shows and stuff like that. So salute to my bros for putting these lists together. And let's get to the PPR tight end rankings. And I love to see this because our guy, Brock Bowers, number one.
Guys, first round. I'm seeing people in the chat that are saying it right now. And Jason Marshall, salute to you. Why Bowers will be going to round 2? He will not be going to round 2. He will be gone in the first round.
I can see it.
He is that guy right now, especially after the ridiculous numbers he put up as a rookie and the records that he broke as a rookie tight end. This really is going to be a pick your poison. You want Genty or do you want Bowers? Who's going to be there for you in the first round? Again, running backs for me is number 1.
Yes.
More touches.
Yes.
But Bowers in those numbers, you're going to want to take Bowers in the first round, guys. I'm telling you right now, because if you don't, somebody's going to take him right from under you.
You know I love Brock, and you know that's my guy. And I was very excited that we took him in that draft. But I have to say, I'm not taking Brock in the first round. I think that, once again, his production is going to dip a little bit. I think that they're going to get Michael Mayer heavily involved in that offense. We're going to run the football a ton. I don't think that he's going to get as many looks. I mean, he's going to get a ton of looks. It's Brock Bowers. He's the best tight end in football, if not top 3 for sure. But I'm going to pump the brakes on the first round talk. Me personally, Hammer. Yeah. I think Genty to me is like the only Raider that I'm looking at potentially there early to take, because I think that the offense is going to run through him.
Right.
But Brock to me is still the number 1 tight end on the board regardless. But I'm just not going to go tight end, me personally, in round 1. I'm going to stick with the running back position. I think if I can get Brock, if he's there in a second, I definitely it's Brock. I mean,
he's not going to. I'm telling you now, he's not going to be there. Now, what was your projection? What was your projection in terms of his numbers this coming season?
He had 5 touchdowns last year, I believe, right? I had him with 10 this season. I think he doubles that 10 to 12 range. I have him in that 900 to 1,000 yard receiving range. Okay. And once again, I think that the yak is going to go up, but the opportunity is going to go down.
So how many receptions do you have him having?
Receptions?
Yes. It's
going to be how many did he have last year, Big Mike? Do you have it right there?
He broke the rookie record, right? Wasn't it 115 or 114 something?
Right? That's going to come down drastically. I think that they want to get everybody heavily involved in the offense. I'll go down. What do you think, Big Mike? Like maybe that 80, 90 range?
I got him at 95.
Okay.
Just below 100, but I think he's going to get, because I mean, there's going to be more weapons this time around. You know what I mean? He's not going to be targeted. He's not going to be the only show in town today this year. So I do have him for more touchdowns. I got him for about 8 to 10 touchdowns.
Okay.
And I got him around like 1,050 to 1,100 yards. I think he's going to be that dude still. And that's elite numbers for a tight end.
Yeah.
But I think his production in the touchdowns are going to go way up, almost double maybe. I'm with you on that one.
So the projection right now as it stands for Brock, 101 receptions for 1,087 yards, and he stays the same with touchdowns at 5.
See, I think they're going to get him more involved in goal line situations, red zone situations. I just don't see him not getting more opportunities to score this year. I mean, I get it. Maybe they're probably kind of playing it safe in just 5 last year. I don't see it. I see him at least getting close to double. I think Big Mike was on to something, 8 to 10. Maybe I'm the 10 to 12, maybe a little too much, but I think that 10, I can see that. But damn, so they had him at what, 100? Was it 100 receptions?
101 receptions, 1,087 yards, 5 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. I mean, I would love it. I would love it. I mean, but once again, you got a quarterback now that can throw the deep ball. I think Dante's going to get a ton of looks. Trey's going to get a ton of looks. I know Brock is going to eat up the middle of the football field, but I personally just don't see it. I don't see that many opportunities.
I will say this, as far as him being in that first round, it's all about strategy right now. If you're picking on that back end of that first round, like you're picking in a 12-team league, picking like 11 or 12, you can pick whoever you're picking at 11 and maybe wait for Brock Bowers. If you're 12, you get 12 and 13, you can get a Brock Bowers in the second. You know what I mean? It just depends on where in the first where you stand, right? In a snake league where you're picking, if you're in a 12-team league, you're picking 12, you're also going to pick 13 again. So I kind of see him in that range, in the back end of that first or in that early second.
There's a guy that missed this list, and I know he's probably right there in the early 20s, but you guys take a look at Isaiah Likely. I think that he's going to be the guy to take over at the tight end, be the tight end one out there in Baltimore.
Absolutely.
There was a lot of talks of Mark Andrews potentially being traded. We know about the drop there in the playoffs and all that other stuff that happened. He was having pretty much a pretty rough year early on last year. Keep an eye on Isaiah Likely. I know they like him a lot. No pun intended out there in Baltimore. That is a guy that to me should be a top 10 option. I would take Mark Andrews completely off the top 20 and put Isaiah Likely there at that 8 or 9 range. I even think that they got Trav way too high right now. I know that he's a veteran. He's a legend. I know he'll be a future Hall of Famer, but I don't see Travis Kelce being Travis Kelce this year. I think
the Kansas City Chiefs are going to be brought down to reality incredibly hard. Like, you're not seeing another 15-win team. They'd be lucky to be in the 11, maybe 12-win range. Mm-hmm. But they're being brought back down to reality this coming season. You could take that to the bank.
Salute to Marvin, man. Great question. I'm gonna hand this off to the professionals. What handcuffs do you recommend in a standard league? QB and running back, QB wide receiver, running back wide receiver.
So I'll go quarterback, right? So quarterback and running back. Like I told you, we already mentioned that two-headed monster with Pittsburgh at the running back position. Keep your eye on those two. I think one of those two is going to emerge and put up big numbers. Now, a guy that we really haven't talked about at the quarterback position, and he might be in for a big season, is Caleb Williams. That might be a good quarterback two to hold on to. They can shock some teams, maybe make that wild card this year. Caleb Williams had a decent rookie year. That second year, he might have a sophomore slump. Usually you see that, but I think that he's going to be kind of ascending up. I think
the problem I have with that, Mike, and I agree with you. I think he's going to have a way better season under Ben Johnson. But the run game, they kept DeAndre Swift. They took a running back. They waited to take one in the 7th round, the kid out of Rutgers. I just don't know what that's going to look like in terms of the run game. And you already know a young quarterback, his best friend is either the tight end, security blanket, or a running back. And I just don't know if DeAndre Swift is going to be that number one guy in Chicago. They may struggle to run the football. I don't know. I thought they were going to get Nick Chubb. I thought they were going to bring him in and try to add some more value to that running back group. But no, you're right.
You're talking about handcuff, right? And we're talking about a guy that we wanted as a head coach. I'm glad that we didn't get him in hindsight, but the head coach over in Chicago right now, he's gonna want to light some things up in offense. So I think Caleb Williams is in for a good year, and then handcuff at running back. You might want to get that 7th round running back as a handcuff. That might be somebody keeping your eye on. So
and once again, they improved that offensive line drastically. They went and got the best center in free agency from Atlanta. They went and traded for Jonah Jackson. They went and got Tooney, however you want to say his name, from Kansas City. So they're going to be a lot better on the offensive side of the football. I'm not trying to say that Aaron Swift's not going to have a good year, but I was just kind of wondering why they waited so long, because the rumor was they wanted to go up to get Genty. So why wait until the 7th round to take a running back, which was kind of weird to me.
Yeah. So, but we also said in the draft that this is a loaded running back, running back class. So the guy that you would get in the 7th round this year is a guy that in most cases would probably be a 3rd and 4th round guy in most years. Just the number of running backs that were out this year. So I did like that running back from Rutgers, but I would have picked him in the 7th round as well. But he could be on the field if Swift goes down. That's a possibility.
2 late round stashes as well, you guys. Tyler Warren, keep an eye on the rookie out of Penn State, and also Colston Loveland. That's going to be an interesting name. I know they have that 1-2 punch out there at the tight end position in Chicago. We were just talking about Caleb. So that can be an interesting name out there. He could potentially rise in year 1 and be the number 1 option at the tight end spot. So keep an eye on Colston Loveland and keep an eye on Tyler Warren. I know their quarterback situation is kind of fuzzy, but Tyler Warren is too talented. They can line him up in the backfield. They can line him up on the outside, on the boundary, in the slot. that's a guy that I would definitely get in the later rounds and stash him if he's available. So.
Yeah, if you want to cash in a lottery ticket in a week where you're in need of a running back, of a wide receiver, Xavier Worthy's another guy that's good for a home run shot every once in a while too.
Yep.
So,
Facts.
you know, as much as we don't like Xavier Worthy, you know, he's that guy. You can get a lottery ticket, cash that in. He's good for a couple touchdowns for 50, 60 yards because he, you know, outran the coverage. So,
yeah,
that's a possibility too. So,
yeah, I'm just looking at this list and I'm like, wow, like Evan Ingram is really high. I know this year one with Bo Nix, he's way up there. Trav at 7. Once again, he's kind of in the twilight of his career. Hawkinson definitely belongs there at 5. I think that McCarthy is going to love him, you know, because this is essentially his rookie season. You know what I mean? He's going to love that tight end, that, you know, once again, that security blanket. So keep an eye on Hawkinson out there in Minnesota. And I think Laporta definitely is going to be a stud. I don't know what that offense is going to look like without Ben, but he is a baller. And I think they got the top 3 right. Brock McBride is going to be phenomenal again, and George Kittle was just fucking George Kittle. So,
right. I mean, and you know, Hawkinson is a good value pick. You can get him in maybe in the 4th or 5th round. You can wait. You know, you don't necessarily have to get Brock Bowers. Now, if you're a homer, you really want Brock Bowers on your team, I'm gonna say go ahead and do it, right? Like I'd probably think about doing it too, but Hawkinson is a perfect value pick in that 4th or 5th round. After you got your weapons already at the running back and wide receiver position, that's where you want to stock up.
Yep, I agree. What we got going on now, man? We got any more lists, or we want to get to this fantasy draft?
I got a sleeper though. I got a sleeper at the tight end position. Terrence Ferguson, rookie from with the Los Angeles Rams. He's going to be the starter out there. They got a lot of weapons. They're going to need somebody to look for underneath. That's somebody that you want to pick as a tight end too, or you know, maybe you get him and just kind of stash him in those later rounds. That's somebody to look at. Terrence Ferguson. Yeah,
I forgot about him. Yeah, where do they have Michael Mayer? You guys, where is he on this list? I know Brock is number 1, so they're not going to have him in the top 20. But where do they have him? Is he in the 30 range?
He's 44, just ahead of Darren Waller. So
okay, that's another sleeper. It's D Wall. I forgot about that. You know, that offense, they got a lot of firepower out there. If Tua can stay healthy, all that motioning, I think Waller's going to fit in like a glove out there in Miami. But that I just don't know what he's going to look like after taking a year off.
He's going to be fucking hanging in South Beach trying to make an album with DJ Khaled.
Yeah. Trick Daddy Dollar and all that shit. So, but that's another sleeper right there. So they have Mayer ahead of Darren Waller, which is interesting.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So what are we going from here, Mike? You got any last thoughts on this whole process before we get to the draft?
Defense picking an 8th to 10th round. That's where I would go. I wouldn't really concern it too much. Just look at the top of that list. The Raiders, I think they were like ranked 9th or something. You might, if you really have faith in the Raiders, defense, pick them late. Pick a second defense and pick them late. Yeah, that's where I would go. Yeah, but that's all I got for defense and kicker. Wait till the last pick to pick a kicker. Don't pick anybody. Daniel Carlson will be available. Yes. You know, so get anybody you want.
Yeah, I agree with you. A sneaky defense to keep an eye on this year, even though it's not really sneaky, is Pittsburgh as well. They made a lot of moves, brought in Darius Slay, brought in Jalen Ramsey. I don't know what they got going on with Watt, but that's going to be – I think they're going to be causing a lot of turnovers out there in Pittsburgh. Yeah. So keep an eye on them. They could be a sleeper defense. But I agree with you. Get a defense a little later and get you a kicker like last round. So there you go. That is your fantasy football needs. Salute to my brothers Hammer and Big Mike for all the information. Salute to Hammer for putting those lists together. Let's have some fun, you guys. Let's do it. Let's do a fantasy draft. Let's get it rolling. Let's do 4, and we're gonna draft 4 wasted. So let's do 4. We'll do 4 people.
So how do you want to do this? You want to randomize the draft pick?
What do you mean?
So I click randomize and it'll give us it'll give us where we're drafting in the first round.
I like that.
Okay. Let's do
just randomize it. All right.
That's fine.
Yeah, because when you pick, you do enough of them, you kind of know where you're gonna be.
Oh, this one ended up with first. Who wants to take this one?
All right, we'll go first. I'll go first.
Okay.
I hate picking first.
It's always great to get that like last pick where you go back to back on them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because you almost have to reach sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you know, it's like, man, if I don't get somebody now, you know, especially you got to watch the board. If quarterbacks are getting off the board fast, people don't know how to draft.
Yeah.
You're like, man, I gotta get a quarterback here. You know, so that I hate picking first, bro. I hate it. I hate it.
Where are you going here, Big Mike?
You know, everybody's gonna say Jamar Chase. You know, it usually it's like a clear number one year after year, right? Like I'm like, that's for sure the number one. I think Bijan Robinson is the clear number one. I'm really big on, and I know it says 5%. I don't care. I don't give a damn. There's plenty of value at the wide receiver position.
Yes.
You know, Bijan Robinson was in his third year right now. This is his payday year.
Okay.
I think this is where you kind of go cash that in. You can get a good receiver. You can get a couple good receivers in the second and third round. So I'm going Bijan number one overall.
Right. Boom. So this is how are we doing this?
So we're gonna have our own individual mocks.
Yeah,
okay.
So we'll take turns.
Okay.
All right. So shoot, real quick. Where was I picked Bijan, right? What was his bye week?
His what?
His bye week was 5. And that's one thing you guys also got to keep in mind. You don't want to double pick your backup with your backup running back have the same bye week as your starter. Now you're out 2 running backs. So keep that in mind too, man. We're trying to make you guys some money.
Week 5.
Okay. So I'm gonna go shoot. Let's go Garrett Wilson here at wide receiver. Get our wide receiver, and then I'm going Josh Allen in the third round.
Ooh, okay.
Shit.
So now we got our, wide receiver, running back, quarterback, and then right here in the fourth, Cortland Sutton put some big numbers up. I'm not really sold on Zay Flowers, so yeah, I will go Cortland Sutton right here.
Okay. Took a donkey.
He took a Bronco, man. The fuck?
Yeah.
Hey, man, hey, look, fantasy, you trying to get that bag, man.
You're trying to get some money here. And then we go James Cook right here.
Agreed.
Good value right here in the 5th round.
Yeah.
And then we're in the 6th round. Let's look at tight ends real quick. So Travis Kelce, Mark Andrews, we're going Kelce, man. I still kind of believe him to an extent. That's a 6th round. That's good value right there, right?
Tucker Kraft too. We didn't speak about him.
Yeah, Tucker Kraft. He's in for a big season too.
There.
Xavier Worthy and Jameson Williams. Let's go J-Mo right here.
I would take J-Mo too.
Yeah, let's go J-Mo right here. Now we're in this situation. We're looking for like a flex. I'm not really big on Travis Etienne. Brian Robinson is a good one. His bye week's week 12. Debo, I'm not really sold on what's going to happen with him. Let's go Brian Robinson right here as your third running back that you're going to be picking.
Okay.
All right. So now we need to look for another wide receiver. And now in this situation, you will go Debo because I'm pretty much picking back to back. So, now we got Tank Bigsby. I'm gonna stay away from Jaguars running backs because they split in spots, and I fell into that trap last year. So I wouldn't go Bixby. Matthew Golden is very interesting just because rookie, you never know what you're gonna get from him. What's the bye week for my tight end, bro? Because I know I picked Kelce. What was his bye week?
What round did you take him in?
In the 5th.
They had the bye right before us when we faced them, right? I think so. Week
7.
Week 7. Week somewhere around there.
10.
10.
Oh, week 10. Okay, never mind.
So Mark Andrews sitting on the bench. That's good. That's we're gonna go Mark Andrews here. You can't pass up on that right there. Even though Isaiah likely might take over that spot, that's somebody that you might want to take a look at.
He'll likely run it from him.
Yeah.
Jason, he already has a quarterback. He got Josh Allen, so he could take one later.
Yeah.
He could double dip later if he wants to.
What's all the receivers we got? Bunch of youngsters, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I like it. Let's go Matthew Golden. I can go with Matthew Golden here.
I think he's going to emerge to be the number one option out there in Green Bay.
Yeah. Now at this point, let's go defense. Start looking at defense. So yeah, we go Eagles defense right here.
That's easy.
Pick the Eagles defense. And let's go look at running backs now. Look at that, like see if we can find a nice steal at running back. Blake Corum is pretty. That's
he's like fell out of favor in LA though. Like he's not getting opportunities.
That is true. Yeah. And if we're talking about handcuff, right? A-Chain, he can't stay healthy. Jalen Wright is a good handcuff. So handcuff right there, pick him up.
Boom.
Let's go. We already got 2 tight ends. Got 4 receivers. What round are we in?
We are in 14. You want to go your backup quarterback?
Let's go backup quarterback here. All right, Drake Mays is solid, but we're going CJ Stroud right here.
Hell yeah.
That's the move.
CJ Stroud and then the kicker. So Jake Bates from Detroit. Why not, right? I don't care. We go Jake Bates.
Take the best one available.
Yeah, a lot of points.
Nice.
So overall, you got an A, bro.
So there we go. 94 out of 100. Hey, that's how you win a league, man. Stock up on your running back, stock up on your wide receivers. Values at tight end in that 5th round, 4th, 5th round, you can wait. In the 1st round, in that number 1 pick, you gotta kind of almost reach. I reached a little bit for Josh Allen, but he won't steer you wrong. He puts up the running numbers and he puts up big numbers in the air too. So
I like that.
Yep.
Hammer, run it for me, man. Come on, what's up? What we doing?
Let's randomize this motherfucker.
Randomize this motherfucker. Salute to everybody still rocking with us.
Perfect. That's perfect. Number 9.
Oh yeah. So now I know exactly where I'm going right here. Go to running back real quick. Give me Ashton high stakes Genty, baby.
Yes,
like
sir.
Life
Yes, sir.
Now I am going to double dip here. I'm going to end up give me a chain, baby.
Oh,
double running back. All right, I like it.
Go to receiver. Still got some
reliable right there, man.
Okay, go to quarterback real fast. Give me Lamar.
Yeah, that's
now go to receiver. Give me DJ Moore.
He's in for a big year, man. I believe in Chicago, bro. I do.
And damn, man, it's kind of weird here because J-Mo is essentially your wide receiver 2 in Detroit. Yeah. I don't know how much involved they're going to get with him. Is Trav off the board? Is Hunter gone? Travis Hunter.
Where is he ranked?
He's gone. He
just went. Okay.
Yeah.
See, Waddle can be a guy that can end up being the number 1 if Tyreek goes down. But you know what I'm gonna do here, man? I'm gonna get a little weird here.
It's gonna get a little chiefy.
Give me George Pickens.
Oh,
I see where you went there with that one. I see it. Slight reach, it says.
Yep. It's cool. It's cool with that. I'm cool with that. Go back to running back.
A little reach.
Remember, that's what she said. All right, let me see. Now, I damn near want to go to tight ends. So Hawks there. Give me Hawks.
You got to get hot.
Now go back to running back. Ooh. This is a sneaky. You know what? I'm going to end up taking Trayvon Henderson here.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the rook. I think that he's going to get a ton of burn. Ramondre Stevenson fumbled a ton, I believe, last year.
Yeah.
I think that Henderson in year one can be the number one guy out there. Go to receiver.
Plenty of value receiver, man.
And where are we at right now? What round?
8th.
8th. Okay, give me. I'm gonna go ahead and take. I'm gonna take Debo here.
Proven.
All right, now where am I at? I may want to go. When did you take your defense, Mike?
10th round.
10. Okay, so I'm gonna take. Give me. I'm gonna. I hate to look like I'm stealing Big Mike's thunder here, but give me Matthew Golden. I think he's going to be a number one receiver for Green Bay. Now, go to the defenses. Are we in 10 now?
Oh shit!
Are we around 10?
You're 10.
I hate to do it, but give me that Denver Broncos defense.
The blasphemy.
All right, go back to quarterback.
Yeah, good time to pick a quarterback.
me just
There you go.
Yep.
You want Fields?
Yep. Now we're in what? Round
12.
12. So we still got 3 more picks, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
Go
I think
back
you need
to-
second tight end, and you need
Yeah. Give me a tight end.
Wire-
Paul. Jonu's there. But I'm not going to take him. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to take Jake Ferguson.
Turd Ferguson.
Yeah, Turfer.
Yep.
The ones know.
I'm just running it, you guys. I'm not checking the bye week. I'm just having fun with it. So it is what it is.
Yeah. You can do that on your old time, y'all.
Yeah. Go to running back. Okay, I might get a little crazy right here. Not crazy. I'm gonna take my guy, and I think that he could be a stud out there this year. Give me Braylon Allen.
That's a good one. That's another handcuff.
Mm-hmm. And where we at now? We're 14.
Still need
Yep.
a kicker.
I need a kicker. I got my defense. Go back to wide receiver.
There goes your guy right there, Trey Harris.
Yep, and I'm not going to take him.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a guy that I think could potentially end up being the number one option where he went. Diggs, I don't know where he's going to be in the grand scheme of things with his injury. I'm going to take Kyle Williams.
Okay.
Now go to kicker. All right, I'll take.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Give me McPherson. Yeah.
You don't want Carlson?
Nah, ton of points. Cincinnati's going to run it up. They're going to score a ton. They're just going to get scored on a ton too. Oh,
Yeah.
hammered and fell off the globe, baby.
Oh man.
Hold up, y'all. That boy Wi-Fi went. Hold on, let me put hammer off the screen real quick.
Yeah. Hey, that was a good drive, bro. I mean,
I want to look at it. I want to see where we are. Maybe
Yeah.
if Hammer gets his shit together. I think he forgot to pay the Wi-Fi bill.
we got to pay the bill, man. Hey, that was
Ant,
a
you
good
ain't
drive.
shit. He's the worst fantasy drafter of all time. I hate you, Ant. Can't stand you, man. Terrible.
I'm telling
I
you,
think
man. Hey,
Hammer ran from the grind, Big Mike. Hammer ran from the grind. He didn't want to. He didn't want to be the
Yeah.
third.
Yeah,
man.
he,
He didn't want to do it, bro. He ran
yeah,
from the
there was
grind.
no way. It was 2 good ass drives. He's like, yeah, I gotta go.
But
But
I wanna
Hawkinson,
take-
man, I like Hawkinson. That pick right there in the 5th round.
Yeah.
That's good value, man. Just for people, just keep that in mind. He's going to be available in the 5th. You don't have to reach. I know you want to get Brock Bowers.
Yes.
Everybody wants to get Brock Bowers, but take it from me. I picked in the 1st round a few years back, like 10, 11 years ago, I picked Rob Gronkowski. And as big as numbers he was picking, he putting up in that year, I went dead last because I picked a tight end
Yeah.
at number 7 overall or something like that. So it's not worth it, man.
Year in and year out, I like to, because this is a young man's game. And I always like to get some of those younger names because I feel like some of them are going to be able, like Matthew Golden. I think that was a steal for both of us. This guy can essentially, what have they been looking for in Green Bay for the last few years? A number one wide receiver.
True number 1. Yep.
Josh said it. Josh Jacobs like, we need a number one wide receiver. They got a bunch of 2s and 3s.
Yep.
Golden is going to be a number one option, you guys. I'm telling y'all now, if you can get him somewhere where I got him and where Big Mike got him, you got to take him. Salute to Hammer.
God damn.
So did you lose the list?
Hold on.
I wanted to just leave.
No, it's
We still have it?
yeah.
Okay, I want to see what I got. I just want to go over it real quick. I think Big Mike hit hit it out the ballpark with his. And I did reach a little bit. I definitely did in certain, certain spots.
I mean, that's the name of the game. You gambling, right? Like you're
sure.
gonna reach sometimes.
You still got one pick left.
Oh shit! Well,
Wait,
you know what?
I
think I'm pretty deep at the running back spot. Go back to wide receiver.
Oh wait, I don't think you picked the kicker.
Oh, I didn't. Okay, no.
Thought you did.
It says draft.
Wait, go back to where you go to his list. Because you picked McPherson, right?
Yeah, and it doesn't even allow you.
So maybe it didn't, but oh shit, this thing is like loading now.
It's okay. Well, regardless, that was my guy right there. So go to my list. I just want to see what I have. We'll just add McPherson there, even if it froze up. It's okay. I just want to see what I got.
Hold on. Where the hell do I find the team? I think
because that's the entire draft right there.
Yeah.
Go to draft board. Wait. I want to see where. Can you go to draft board? Is that where it is?
Let me try it. Hopefully it doesn't disappear. Oh, thank God.
There you go. So go down to the bottom, I believe, right? Am I right there somewhere?
Yeah, you're right here.
Okay. So I'm looking. Go up so I can see. So
you got Genty, you got a chain, you got Lamar Jackson, DJ Moore, George Pickens, TJ Hawkinson, Trevion Henderson, Deebo Samuel, Matthew Golden. You got a lot of receivers.
Yeah, but I'm missing potentially that number one guy that can go crazy. I took George Pickens. He'll be the number 2 behind CeeDee Lamb. I'm kind of betting on that running back group to just kind of tear the top off for me. But we'll see. I think it's a good draft, man.
I don't know why the fuck
is
it's
there a
not
way to
letting me
refresh? You refresh it or?
I don't want to fuck this up, but I'll try it.
Either way, just try it because either way, we already know what I got anyway, so it's cool. See what happens.
Yeah, I think it's gonna fucking start brand new.
Okay, well, it's cool. Well, it's on you know. Anyway, Hammer.
Well, shoot, in the chat, man. What do you give that grade? What do you give it? That's the question. 1 through 100, man. What did you give Graph's draft, man?
There we go. Hammer, it's on you.
Where did I fucking?
It says F.
No, because it's the same thing. Let's redo this shit real quick.
Oh, so they have you drafting at 9 again?
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Okay. There we go. Start a mock draft. I like my list. I thought that I was pretty. I thought I was just decent at the wide receiver position, but I took 2 back-to-back late with Deebo and Matthew Golden, and I think once again, one of those guys. Keep an eye on Deebo also because we don't know what they're doing with their number 1 wide receiver right now. He's 30 years old. He's pissed because he wants a new deal. I don't know. There's a lot of trade rumors. Maybe Deebo can emerge as that number 1 option out there in DC with Jaden Daniels. Who's to say?
Let me look at this and see where we are at.
I missed out on Nico. I'm so pissed I missed out on Nico.
So I'm
you
here
pick number 8 right now.
Nakua
at 4 overall is kind of high.
Poop in the cooler.
Poop in the cooler.
Poop in the cooler.
The guy. I'm gonna fill this copy up real quick. I'll be right back.
All right.
Fuck, man. I really want to do this because this is gonna be my guy.
Huh? What are you picking number? Is this 8?
Yeah.
Remember, you can get him on that second round on that back end because it's a snake draft.
We'll see how this goes.
Picking another.
Go ahead and steal my thunder, Hammer. Go ahead.
Nah, let me go with Sonic.
Sonic.
He's gone. He's fucking gone.
And
Brock was fucking taking fucking
yo,
season's over, yo.
They stole your Raiders, man. Hey, you got to be the one to take Jacoby late now, Hammer.
Where did Genty go?
Let's see.
Just for the
before the
picks after.
10. So number 10 overall.
Laporta Potties. Yeah, that's a dope team.
Oh, that's fire.
I'm gonna double up here. Actually, let me see.
So you gotta see what's at receiver.
Yeah, I'm gonna double up.
That's a
Ricky. Oh, Jaden.
Done. Now I'll go to receivers. Mike Evans, Devontae Smith. I'll go with Evans.
It's all reliable, man.
Oh, reliable.
And this is where we're at right
I'm
here.
not touching Olave
At all.
With a 20-foot pole.
At
Yeah.
all. Those concussions are concerning.
Yep.
I'll take Laporta here. Technically, I took Gibbs, right? There's a handcuff right there.
Man.
There you go.
It's a good Detroit stack you got going.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Judy is an interesting one, you guys. The number one option in Cleveland right now. They don't know who's throwing the football, but that's another name to keep an eye on this year in fantasy football. He had a big year for Cleveland last season.
I hate the fact that this won't tell me exactly where their buys are.
I think the red exclamation point is pretty much telling you.
Chris Godwin has so I got Evans already. I can't do that. And Judy, he's off the same week.
Damn.
Ridley might be in for a breakout.
Cam Ward.
Yeah.
Mixon, you guys, I stayed away from him because they picked up Nick Chubb. They still have what's the kid's name? Damn, what is his name? I know
you're talking about that
stud. I'm drawing a blank right now. But I just chose to get away from that. I think they're going to have like a 3-headed monster out there in Houston.
Yeah.
And I don't think that Mixon is going to run the football as much as he's accustomed to doing.
Yeah, he shouldn't.
Is it?
He should.
I think I'm going to go Jacoby Myers is there.
Nah, it's I'm drawing a blank right now. And he kind of fell out of favor last year too. They haven't really been using him that much.
Yeah,
I'm going to go with Xavier Worthy.
Okay.
Yeah, you can't go wrong. Jordan Addison's a good one.
Hey, Khalil Shakir is an interesting one too, because right now he's essentially your number one out there in Buffalo.
Let me see something here. I got Gibb 1, 2. I got 2 receivers. I got 2 running backs. I got a quarterback, and I got a tight end. Where am I going here?
I'm going best available in this one as far as wide receiver, running back.
This would be the best available right now as it stands. Let's see the running backs and see who's there. Oh shit!
What happened?
David Montgomery is there.
He's a red zone dude at this point, bro.
Yep, goal line guy. You're betting on touchdowns with David Montgomery.
Let me go with Addison here.
Yeah.
I think Addison's the safest bet right there.
Yeah.
He's essentially a 1B, like in Minnesota.
Yeah. Now it's funny. Warren and Caleb Johnson's right next to each other, man. So
I think Caleb's going to be a great running back for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
We got what? 3 receivers, so we do need a running back here.
Everybody stay away from Etienne. I'm telling you now.
Caleb Johnson.
Yeah, don't even do it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Caleb Johnson here.
They got Etienne, they have Bigsby, and then they drafted 2 running backs.
Yeah.
Do I go? Where are we? 9.
Charbonnet's
9. You can look at defense now. You can go. Did you pick a tight end yet?
Yeah, you got Laporta.
Took Laporta.
Oh, you can double dip and get hot right here.
It's possible.
I'm gonna go. Because I'm gonna lock this up.
Yeah, and then now you can go defense here, or you can wait. I mean, that's where I would go.
Where are we? 10. Still, I feel like that's kind of early, but then again, you could just start stashing away. Philly or
where you got a running back
currently, or who's available?
Who's available at running back?
Jordan Mason, Rashad White, Tank Bigsby, Austin Eckler. Fuck Eckler.
Jordan Mason was holding it down for a little bit last year.
When they just traded for him. I mean,
yeah.
Aaron's getting a little long in the tooth, right? So I don't know how much Aaron Jones gonna have left in the tank. Jordan Mason could be interesting when he's, is he healthy? I mean, that's key, right? He's dealt with some things. I like Rashad White. I know that, they have, a young guy in Bucky Irvin, but they kind of have that lightning and thunder and lightning with Rashad White. So,
yeah,
there's an interesting one too.
And that's definitely a handcuff situation too. So
Yeah.
Damn, Luther Burden is there.
He's going to be their third option. I don't expect him to have a massive year this year because
Yeah.
Roma Dunzi, I'm expecting him to take the next step. And then they got DJ Moore, which is clear cut their number one option. So Luther can be a guy you can kind of get late and stash. And if one of those guys go down, you may have, a little secret weapon there on the bench with Luther.
I'm just looking. I'm trying to see if. Tell me they took him already.
Who?
Dante?
Gordon? Yeah.
Boom.
No, he's right there.
He's right there. He's available.
He's way down. You can get bro in the 10th.
I will wait.
Get him in 15th overall, bro. You can get him in the 15th round.
Yeah, wait up for it. I love the Raiderdom though. But it's Raiderdom. Like
Raiderdom.
Hey, we've all been guilty of that at one point.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Man,
we don't have. You know what we don't have right now?
Big Mike, I had Zay Jones on my roster one year, so.
Oh yeah, I had Marcel Reese on one of mine before, bro.
Damn, you went back.
Yeah, it was like 2010 or 2011.
Yeah,
one of them years. I had him.
I'm looking at these quarterbacks for a backup right now. Shit.
Justin Fields is nice.
Take Fields, you
Fuck.
already got a few Lions on right, so I'd probably steer away from Goff. But I mean,
You get your defense yet?
No,
I don't think so. And Denver's still there. Fuck it.
Yeah,
11th round.
That's good.
That's smart. That's value right there in the 11th.
Yeah, they say slight reach. I don't agree.
Hey, that's another name to keep an eye on right there is Ray Davis. Once again, that James Cook situation. That's a kid that can run the football, and he's a baller. That's a name that I would definitely take late.
Yep. I forgot about Hollywood Brown, man.
He's healthy.
He's healthy, yeah.
But once again, Worthy, Rice, I think he's kind of like lost.
Yeah, I already got Worthy too. I'm not going that route.
Mims is a special team guy.
So Rashad Bateman's cool.
Let me just see the draft board real quick and see where we're at. How many we have? 1, 2, 3, 4 running backs. 1, 2, 3. I need one more receiver right now.
Hammer said, my laptop just died. What the fuck? I just got your message, bro.
Yo, that's because I've been running that shit so much at work, like doing all this stuff recently.
That shit's hilarious, dog.
Man.
Where are we going here?
Hammer,
Bateman, man.
Yeah, we waiting on you, man. To take Bateman.
Why not?
Now go back. Well, what round are you in? 14?
I didn't get a kicker yet.
This is Dante and the kicker. Dante and the kicker, baby.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go.
Aubrey killed it for me last year in Dallas.
Aubrey be booting that shit. Like,
yeah, bro. Take Aubrey, dog.
Yeah,
Dicker
that's a
the
good
kicker.
one.
Dicker the kicker.
Now
Where's that guy at?
There you go.
Dante Thornton, baby.
Like your life depended on it. I got an 88. I got a B+.
I don't even know what I got.
I know. I wanted to see what you got.
I'm gonna see if I can go back to that draft. Hold up.
I think I broke the scale, dog.
That's why it froze.
The fucking receivers is weak as shit.
Yeah, facts. Now, look, I'm telling you now, you're going to see a lot of people this year, Big Mike, go back-to-back running backs. I'm telling you now because there's so much firepower late with those wide receivers. You see Devontae at, 18, 19? Like on that list, there's no reason. I mean, if you can get a Jamar Chase, I understand. But it's like you might want to double dip there at that running back spot early.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, young ones though. Don't Derrick Henry, those kind of guys like that. Like
if you can find a way to get Gibbs and Genty back to back, bro, or what I did with a chain and Genty back to back, like you can't pass that up.
Yeah.
They're shitting on the receivers that I drafted.
Yeah.
Who'd you get? You got Mike Evans, you got Xavier Worthy.
Didn't I get Addison as well? Yeah,
you got Addy. You got a solid receiving core.
Draft simulator. Hold on. Let's see. All right. The one that we did I think this was yours.
Yeah, but it didn't finish it, remember? So I don't think they're going to give me a – they gave me a C?
They gave you a C.
These bitches.
Dang.
Let me see if I can.
Big Mike got an A.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I broke the scale all right. Broke that motherfucker the wrong way.
So your
Dang,
starters
see.
were 9th. Your receivers, again, I don't know. What the
Well, you waited a while to get receivers. Remember that?
Yeah,
Like,
I did. I took back-to-back running backs, then I got my quarterback at third.
yeah.
One of the experts gave you an F, bro.
Hey, man, fuck them.
Damn.
That stands for fuck them.
Justin Herrera, yeah. He
I like it. I like it. It
shout out
is
to
what it
Justin Herrera, whoever that is.
is. Yo, salute to everybody in the chat, man, for still rocking with us once again. This is your fantasy football show with ShieldMore in the building. Salute to everybody that pulled up. Once again, you guys, we'll get back to Raider talk moving forward this week. I have a show tomorrow, me and Stu. He'll be breaking down some film and breaking down his thought process with some of these rooks that we brought in. So stay tuned for that. Wednesday, we have the AFC West show. So stay tuned for that. Big Mike, Hammer, what you guys got going on, man? I know the content's going to start amping up now. 17th, we're right around the corner from training camp.
60 days away from the start of the regular season of the NFL. I can't fucking wait. But yeah, we are getting closer and closer to the start of our rookies reporting. Then a couple of days after, we got our vets and start getting everything rolling on all cylinders. Try to get on a couple of times. Even if there's not much to talk about, still want to try to get on. I really want to hear from you guys. I might have to open up the vault line a few times when I can, because I want to hear from you guys. I really haven't heard much from you guys in terms of how you're feeling about this season, what you're looking forward to, what your expectations are. So I think we're going to have to open up the vault line at some point, probably this week. I'll definitely try to get on and I could tap in with you guys because I love the interactions with you guys. I love talking football with you guys. So, yeah.
I think that's the strong suit of your channel was getting the nation involved. I love it.
Yeah. Hey, Hammer. Hey, if you want to collab on that vault line, man, hit me up.
Yes.
We can do that.
Yes,
I don't got
absolutely.
nothing going. Let's definitely do that, man. We can run that. I don't know. Whenever you're ready, I'm in, bro. Tag me in.
Let me know also, Mike, what when you have some time, maybe in the middle of the week, if you're around, let's definitely run one. I want to do a maybe 5 things to look forward, at training camp. One of those kind of shows. Get your opinion on some things. Hammer, we got to get our show rolling again. Also, sometime during the week. So, you guys stay tuned, man. Once again, thank you guys so much for rocking with us as always during the slow part of the season. Well, it's the off season, but this is the slowest of slow right now. Thank you guys so much for being, who you are, supporting us. Thank you to everybody watching on Big Mike's channel, everybody watching on Hammer's channel, everyone watching on mine. Also, salute to everybody watching on my Twitter and Hammer's Twitter. Also, if you guys can, jump over to all 3 channels, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. It definitely helps us remain in the algorithm and all that good stuff. So, other than that, man, I don't have anything. You guys have anything on the way out?
Man, go over and check out Big Mike Raider, man. Give me the 3K.
Raider.
Man. I've been waiting. I've been waiting for 3K, man. Give me the 3K. Let's get it rolling. Become a member as well, man. We here for the rest of the season, man. We're gonna get started real soon.
There we go. You got the coming together like butt cheeks, Hammer, or not? We good?
Nah, because everything fucking shut down on me.
Well, hey, when we leave, come together like butt cheeks. Salute to the chat. Salute you guys. We are out. Love y'all. We out.